Dear students, now we are going to see about a poem, The Harp of India by Henry D. Derozio. Now let's see about the poet Henry Louis Vivian Derozio. He was an Indian on Indo-Portuguese origin. His father was a Portuguese and his mother an Indian. He was born in 1809 when India was under the British rule. Derozio was greatly inspired with love for the country of his birth. Perhaps his contacts with other contemporary Indian novelist writers influenced his attitude. Though he died of cholera at the early age of 22 in 1831, Derozio's verses reflect maturity and a sensible understanding of the need to love one's own country. There is no doubt that Derozio wrote for instilling patriotic fervor among the youth. All his writings seems to promote a spirit that is truly Indian. Among the better known of his poems is the narrative The Fakir of Jangira. Derozio's love for his country is expressed in his sonnets The Harp of India and To India, My Native Land. His poems Evening in August, The Fakir of Jangira, The Eclipse, and The Song of the Indian Girls give ample evidence of his nationalist thought and poetic talents. His poems have elements of English romantic poetry but are Indian in content, theme, and imaginary. The sonnet is Petrarchian in format and it illustrates Derozio's concept of poetic creation. Like the 19th century romantic poets, he finds in poetry a process of recollection, a wild tour of imagination, an enchanting look at the past, a passionate love for nature, and a powerful invocation of the muse. Sweet madness, delicious frenzy, and strains of fire stand for spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, like Wordsworth. The reference to Himalayan Arabian Sea or topographically native, immortal harpings. This expression stands for the tradition of poetry. The first two lines contain a very beautiful use of personification. The nation has been personified as a withered bough. The poet says, "Why hangest thou lonely on your withered bough? Unstrung forever must thou there remain." The unstrung harp of the poet laments over the fact that the rich tradition of India lies neglected and is muted like an unwithered bough of a leafless tree. Withered flower on an withered bough express the poet's imagination of the wrecked and the miserable condition of India to a withered bough. And the line, "Our country has a rich past," says that India was an evergreen flower blooming and blossoming on an evergreen bough. But during the British rule, people had to lead a life of slavery, even worse than beast. So here the metaphor is very apt and suggestive. The poet mentions only one bough of a tree which is withered, but this connotation, he seems to say that the people of India are slave to the British rule only physically, not spiritually. In the line, only the bough is withered, not the root and stem. The soil beneath the root is still fertile and nourishing. And the lines, "Silence hath bound thee with her fatal chain, neglected, mute, and desolate art thou, like ruined monument on a desert plain." This line says The monument symbolizes the lost glory and grandeur of nation. Our past are very grand and golden, like a great monument. Several men in the past before him have played the music of the harp, and in return, the harmonious chords of harp have produced sweetness. So he says in the line, sweetness, famous, also garlanded many a worth or for the nation. So in this line, he says that the flowers on the grave of the minstrels of the nation are still blooming. Here, the term minstrel suggests that man of honor and fame who kept on playing the harp of India in order to produce harmonious music of eternal values. They are now no more. Hence, the poet is of the opinion that the music of the harp is eternal. It can never be destroyed. He asks the permission of the harp so that he may strike the strain. Thank you.